What's going on YouTube? This is your boy Kamen Zero Spike back again once again. And today people, today we're here for Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger episode 50, the final episode. We will conquer the world. Man, oh excuse me, man, this episode is the final climactic battle with Duck Dad, and in this fight everybody was getting a lick in on this guy. Everyone was getting their freaking hit in on freaking Duck Dad. Like, yeah, they was fighting him, but one of my favorite parts of the whole thing was like it was Jeremy, Miraculous, and Death Knock all jumping freaking Kamen, which was a very like fitting end to this guy. This guy got dragged into the underworld, into the underworld, and it was funny. It was hilarious. We see that he even got a little cameo from Gordy. He was just telling Kamen to be quiet. Like, it was funny. But in this episode we do see our main crew. They're fighting freaking Duck Dad, and I'm gonna say the entire final fight with Duck Dad, it was, to a degree, it was awesome, don't get me wrong, but it was a little bit lackluster. Now let me explain my piece for a second. A lot of the abilities and things like that they trained for weren't really used like that. They really, I mean, like, you got, like, you know, the abilities and the abilities that they used was like that they trained for weren't really used like that, and we didn't really get to, it didn't really show off like Duck Dad's like real power. Like, yeah, they found a way to, like, get over his immortality after, figuring out how to go through his immortality, but at the same time, like, a lot of his overall like major powers that he had, like, we fought, and we also fought him in his house. Like, we fought him in his room in that which was dope. And it got to a point where, we're using the mega King-Ohger, like the super really giant King-Ohger, and which was cool. Like, it was dope. Like the final battle is the mecha fight, because like, after they beat him when he was like small, like he grew up and stuff like that. But man, I just feel like we really didn't see like a real extension of Duck Dad's power. Like, this guy is supposed to be omnipotent, he's supposed to be all powerful, things like that. He's supposed to be like reality warping and stuff, and he didn't do a lot of that. A lot of stuff he was doing was just like, I'm gonna punch, I'm gonna kick, I'm gonna grow, I'm gonna throw a big blast at you, so I'm gonna fly around, like things like that. And the fight really wasn't that long, but at the same time the fight was awesome. It was a little bit like we didn't get to see, it was a very, it's like a lackluster sort of kind of fight, which I do like the whole thing of like for when they eventually were able to get enough power to make God King-Ohger, to make the full King-Ohger form. Like, they was like, oh, it's too big, like there's nothing to fill it. And the people were, they got all the people around the different kingdoms, different citizens, to use to basically give up some of their soul power, basically just making an entire like Genki Dama / spirit bomb, and giving them the power to turn into it, which was dope. I like how they still played a hand in getting them to that form. But yeah, like in the midst of the fight, we see that they do end up destroying his room, and when they slam him like into the side of the room, he did get to a point where he did like actually slam them down and was able to like get the upper hand on them. He has foot on their chest and stuff, and they powered through that, and they were able to slam him into the wall. And when they slammed him into the wall, they were able to the Shoe Gods basically themselves came in to basically like took control and started to fight off Duck Dad themselves. And they were basically burning themselves away. Like, every time they pushed them further and further to the wall, a different Shoe God would get burned away. And basically the Shoe Gods were burning away their physical states, they were burning away their physical bodies. And after they knock Duck Dad into the void, into the white void that's essentially around his room. They knock him into the void, and when they knock him into the void, the rest of the shoe gods burn away. After they do that, they're back on Terra, and they do their final slash on him. When they finally slash him, they destroy his brain piece in his head, which was destroyed, and then he fades away. He has no final words or anything like that. He's taken out. They stand there, they just look at him, they turn around, walk away. Everybody daps each other up. Everybody's happy that the freaking Kings, they won, you know, things like that. And then we get like a time skip into everything has been rebuilt. You know, all the Kings get back together to decide like now, and decide like, okay, all the kingdoms are free now, and then they have now gotten rid of all the borders in between the kingdoms. So now like anybody can just go to any kingdom that they want and chill out and stuff like that. And we see like all different kingdoms like mingling with each other, and different kingdoms sharing their things with other kingdoms, and having all these different kingdoms intertwine with each other. So now that that's happened, they're actually just trying to decide like, now that we're all one giant nation, what are we gonna call this giant nation? And it's like they can't really decide on a name or anything like that, which was funny. And we see that Jeremy is basically narrating everything that's going on right now, and it shows like them getting ready to go and start like a new adventure, basically foreshadowing the next movie that's about to come up, which is when they are with King-Ohger again, King-Ohger again. And we see that the shoe gods are still alive. It's just that they trusted their souls with Yanma, and Yanma basically just saying that he is to just create new bodies for the shoe gods. So the shoe gods are fine, they're not gone, but they just need new bodies. So we see that Yanma basically gets to work on that. We don't really see like what the crew is going to do next. Like we see them getting ready for something, but most likely it's the next movie or something like that, or basically just showing that they're getting ready to go on like another adventure. And I am sad to see this series go. I am sad to see this season go, because this was such a masterpiece of a series, of a Sentai, and it's one of the good ones. And usually when a new series starts, that series kind of has like fill in the shoes of like that series that came before it. And we don't know how Boom Boomger is going to be. We do get the classic Ranger send-off, Red Ranger, old Red meeting the new Red, stuff like that, like that type of send-off thing, which is dope. We got to see like Boom Boomger Red taking Get Out on a ride with him in his car and stuff, which was dope. And I like that the Red Ranger send-offs is just this big tradition thing that I always really liked when it came down to Sentai. But when it comes down to it, like, this series was such a masterpiece of a series. Yes, this series had a lot of plot. This series had a lot of retcons, and it did have problems. Like I would say that the first half of King-Ohger is a little bit better than the second half. Like the 2-year time skip we have, it's good. It's really good. And at the fact that we start to get into more of the lore of the kingdoms, the lore of the world, the true villain, like what Raculus was really trying to do, like the true backstory behind everything. The movie built into the summer movie built into the series going into the second season. Like it was dope. But that first half just got something about it that was really good. A lot of the fights in the first half were really good, especially episode 2 Gira. That fight, episode 2 of King-Ohger, that fight, those fights and stuff, that CGI was dope. But yeah, man, I'm really sad to see this series go. I'm gonna miss this series. I'm gonna miss the henshin sounds. I'm gonna miss the transformations. I'm gonna miss these characters. I'm gonna miss these suits, yo. I mean, they're not completely done. We still got a movie coming up, but other than that, yo, like King-Ohger is definitely gonna be in my list of favorite Sentai, and I'm definitely and I would definitely rewatch this series. I would definitely recommend this series to anybody trying to get into Sentai, even though they're very different Sentai. You know, they're not on Earth. You know, they're like one of those Sentai where it's on a whole different planet or different timeline or different universe, and these characters hold a special place in my heart, and I love these freaking characters. And it's gonna be sad it's always sad, especially when like a good series ends and then you have to move on to the next series, and even though they're not completely done, they're not having episodes anymore, and it sucks, but we gotta move on to the next season, the next Sentai, the next Kamen Rider. Like, you know, like we gotta do that. But this series will always be here for you to rewatch and relive those moments, things like that. And that's definitely what I'm going to do when it comes down to King-Ohger. King-Ohger literally feels it makes me feel the same way that Cure Major made me feel, the way Lupin vs. Pat made me feel, you know, the same way Dawn Brothers made me feel, because I was really sad to see Dawn Brothers go. But other than that, this series was dope. I thoroughly enjoyed every second of Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger, and I'm glad that I was consistent with it. I got 50 videos of this, just me talking about this series and reviewing this series and things like that, and it's dope. But other than that, that's basically my episode 50 review and my series review in one video. Excuse me. But other than that, man, Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger is now in the history books. We'll move on to Boom Boomger, and I'm looking forward to Boom Boomger, even though I still iffy on those freaking suits. But other than that, you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of Ohsama Sentai, of this episode of Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger, and also the entire series of Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger. Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for being here for 50 episodes of this playlist. It's 50 episodes now, 50 videos, and I'm really proud of myself because I did it. But other than that, I'm see you guys next time. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Remember, as I always say, stay henshined. And now we're off to Boom Boomger.